any specific reason why we specifically say about the closing head tag and not really say, okay, anywhere on the page or anywhere in the head section? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So because we said it's a JavaScript, right? So some JavaScripts might interfere if you not close the tag properly. If you place the analytics code within that, it's not going to fire. So in that case, we say even if the page is interrupted, if the code fires and the analytics code is, if it is fired, the data is going to come through. How many of you have websites based on templates? Templates? How different is your implementation? Do you go and put the code on all the pages or? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, brilliant. For the benefit of others, so like he said, that's the best way to go about implementing. You just need to put it on the file, common folder, and then that's going to take it and paste it on all the pages. How many of you inspired? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what's going to happen is if you put it on a common folder, it's being basically called from an external source, so that it's going to be implemented in all the pages because it's basically a template which is going to be the same set of code, right, on all the pages. How many of you, in spite of having installed the code right, and your webmaster has done a brilliant job, everything seems fine, but the data is not coming through? Have you guys wondered as to what's happening, or have you faced an issue at all like that? You place the code and you don't see data at all. Any of you seen an instance like that? Have you tried, what were the steps that you took while you saw such an issue?
So I analyzed whether it is correct code or not, because I had a subdomain for one of my clients.
Okay.
It had the main index page as well, because the subdomain index page was working fine. Subdomain was not working fine. It was not showing data from the ad network. Right. So probably what I got into it yesterday only, I saw the problem was that it was not the code for the subdomain level.
Okay.
From Google Analytics.
Okay.
That was the main reason for not getting data. And all the traffic from its main domain was as a referral traffic.
Okay.
Right. So putting correct code is one of the mantra for actually solving it.
Yeah.
So I did it and solved it.
Okay. So how did you go about identifying the issue as such? So you went, did you try and compare the code, or how did you go about doing this?
I compared the code. I got the data from ad network also saying that I have delivered you this number of clicks, but in my analytics it's not showing. So ad network should be shown as a referral click, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it was 0.
Okay.
I mean, there can be differences of 20%, 30%, 50%. It can't be like overall 0. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I analyzed the code present on the subdomain and on the home page.
Okay.
I got the admin access of that analytics. I
Okay.
compared the code and I saw that set domain
name was not set.
Was not there.
Okay.
Right. So I analyzed it and
Okay. So first thing that you'd do is you'd go to the website and look at the code. So most of you have not installed the code all by yourself, right? Let's say the webmaster has done it for you. Instead of sending an email to the webmaster, what is the first trigger that you'd get? You'd probably go see the source code. So how would you go about looking for the source code? View source, right click on the website. So basically, on 3 different browsers, 3 different ways of going about it. Just look at the view source. You're going to copy the code. You can, once you're on the source code, just search for the ga.js file because it's very specific to the analytics account or the analytics software itself. So now, once you get the code, just compare it to the one that's on your account. Or you can always go to the help center and look for the code and compare it as well. Then you know if it is working fine or not. One other instance, we discussed an instance where other JavaScript might be interfering with the code from executing, right? How do you identify if the code is executing or not? Because by this, just doing a view source, I'm going to figure out, okay, the code is perfectly fine.
So it shows a right tick mark on the account source.
Yeah, okay, if one way to identify if data is coming through is,
The system is, the website and analytics, both are working fine.
yeah,
Pasted the right code over the website, and if we have taken right, the code from the net, so definitely will show.
the tracking status would probably show you the data, okay. One other thing is you go into the reports and see if the data is coming through or not. How would you check if the code is being fired?
In the browser,
Okay, yes, sorry, someone said
Third-party tools.
third-party tools, okay, Firebug,
We can say better analyze that whether it can execute or not.
okay. How many of you guys have used Firebug? Okay. Any other tools that you were talking about, some other tools?
So in the Chrome there is also an option of inspecting the element.
Yeah,
Inside that there's a script tab. In the script tab and network, in the network tab we can check whether the JavaScript code is making a network request or not.
yes,
If it is
perfect.
not, then the code is probably not firing.
Yes,
Now in the script tab we can just add an alert after before the closing script tab of the GA code.
GA code.
And if that alert is firing, that means the code is executing properly.
yes, perfect. So how many of you have tried this option? If you have not tried, I can take you through that. So how many of you have tried this? Okay. So can one of you tell me a website? Any website? Sorry? Okay. So now I'm on Chrome, and if I want to check on, so for now, because majority of us use Chrome and Firefox, I'm going to take you through those two. There are other developer tools as well. It's not just restricted to Chrome and Firefox. So on Chrome, just click on this icon here. You can just click on the icon here, and you see an option called as Tools. From there, just go to Developer Tools. Yeah, F12 is easier. So then you have Network. Under this tab, just refresh this page again. And anything specific that you would check for when you just say search? GA, okay. This is basically, is this the one you'd be looking at or a different file altogether?
This is the file.
Okay, so there's one more which you can specifically search for, which is the UTM GIF. I'll take you through what exactly this file is. This is the one that contains all the cookie information. If you click on this, so like he said, here majority of the information would be here. You can look at which account. So basically this is the account ID. This is how you'd go about identifying this. Yeah? So now let's assume I go to Firefox. You have an extension add-on called as Firebug. So now if I just load the page, and search for the same UTM GIF file, you should be able to identify this. There's something wrong. Okay, for some reason it just isn't loading. Here all I need to do is look at the UTM, look for the UTM file, And when I scroll down under the parameter section, I should be able to see the details just on top. Yeah? So now that we've discussed as to how to go about creating an account and how would you check if the code is placed fine, what do you guys think, how exactly does analytics work? Any of you?
So JavaScript code that we have in our HTML makes a request
Yeah.
to the analytics server with the account information and the page information and other whatever information is required from the page and sends to the server.
Okay.
And the server receives the data
Okay.
and populates it into our analytics.
Yes, brilliant. He covered pretty much everything. So what happens is you have the JavaScript, the analytics tracking code installed on your website. Let's say someone goes and searches for your specific, uses a keyword and searches, and I search for something and I figure out, okay, fine, this is what I'm searching for. I go click on that specific website. So then what happens is the tracking code that's placed on the website, it executes, it fires. So then what it does is it's going to collect all the information, like where is the location, where is this person present, how did they come from, where did they come from. This kind of information is stored, and that file that stores this information is the UTM file. So that's basically the one that we're trying to see while searching for that UTM-GIF on any of the developer tools. We're trying to see if that file is first of all being generated or not. So once that is done, like he said, it's going to take it to the servers, the secure servers. After that, it's put in a report format and then presented in your accounts so that you can just go ahead and you should be able to read them. Yeah? Any questions on this?
This is a real-time data.
Yes, even with the real-time data, this is how it would work.
So it works on cookies, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How exactly, like, how many of you manage multiple accounts here? Okay. Multiple as in more than 10, or what exactly? You don't need to give me the exact numbers, but approximately. 8 to 10. Someone else mentioned you guys have
Over 20.
over 20, okay. Over 30 accounts. Did you create all of them using the same email address? Okay.
Most of them are created using same tool,
Okay.
but it has limitations and about that we have to use another tool.
Okay, what was the limitation as such?
It was 5 lakh page views per day.
Okay. Okay, that was the limitation. Is there any, did you come across account limitation? Okay.
Yeah, that is the one.
Okay, 50 is the number here. Any other number that you guys, any limitation that you guys have seen? Sorry? 25. Okay. 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 50 is the number. I hear 25, I hear 50, so majority is 50. Should I go? 15. Okay. Any other number? Random guesses?
Actually, it can be increased. If you write to you guys,
Mm-hmm.
we write to you guys, it
Mhm.
can be increased. It depends.
Okay, so here's how it works. You can create only 25 accounts using a single email address. So that is the limitation. But the 50 you're talking about would be profiles. Yeah? So you can have 50 profiles and 25 accounts can be created. But there is, so let's say you assume you take on 50 more clients. So you mentioned you have 150 clients or 150 accounts. Okay, so 50 profiles. Okay, so let's assume that you wanted to create separate accounts and there is a limitation of 25. What would you do? Because it's easy for me to log into the same account, create multiple accounts and then transfer the ownership to someone else. But in that case, what would you do? Brilliant. So you're going to go create a separate email address and grant this person access. Yeah? While creating accounts or profiles, what are those things that you keep in mind? How would you go about creating an account? Let's say I have 5 clients. How many accounts would I create in this case? Let's talk about profiles or accounts. Would I create multiple profiles in the same account because it's easy for me to manage, or I'm going to create 5 different accounts altogether? Okay, so 5 different accounts. Okay, 2.
If I have a separate thing, then I give a separate account because it leads to the problem of giving access or.
Okay, we'll come to that. One account, I create 5 different profiles. How many of you for that? Okay, any specific reason why you would choose that option? Okay, so you have 5 different clients and yes.
Then in that case,
Accounts. So always remember, you might assume that okay, in the long run, it's possible that you might just say, okay, I'm going to create the accounts and I'm going to give my clients, different clients, user level access on different accounts. But it might just happen that, for some reason the client just decides, okay, I don't want to use analytics anymore. So then there is no way, or they decide, okay, I don't want you to manage it. I'm going to use it on my own. Can you transfer a profile's data to another account? Have you guys tried transferring data from a profile to another account? Sorry? Yeah. So by creating an account, what happens here in this case? So let's say the client comes to you and he tells, you've got the same account in 5 different profiles. He's got user access on that. He tells me, you know what, I want to manage and see how it works. Can you transfer the ownership to me? Would you be able to transfer the ownership? Okay. Sorry? Admin access. So you have 5 different clients and on the same account, if I have admin rights, can I go check someone else's website? I have different profiles, 5 different profiles. Do I have access to all the different 5 profiles? Is that what clients want? It's possible that you're managing 5 different clients from the same market or same industry. Is that data secure? Are they going to trust you? No. So in that case, it's always advisable to create specific accounts for different clients, no matter what access level you're giving them. It's possible you can just give them a user access, but if your relationship, you decide that you would manage some other account, or the client decides I don't want to be with you anymore, so then you can just transfer the ownership and they could just go ahead and remove you. That's about it. So that's one way of going about it.
Just a quick note here. The reason we always suggest creating separate accounts for different clients is because it gets very difficult, like Saranya mentioned, that when clients decide that they don't want to work with a certain agency anymore, and you happen to create an account for them for their website, and you happen to create a profile within an analytics account which has another website being tracked in it. You obviously will happen to give them user access, and you will not give them admin access because you don't want them to see the data for other websites. That's definitely a security issue, right? So we also face the same problem when people write into us and say, you know what, I'm not working with this agency anymore. They created an account for me and now I've left them and I don't have access to my account. Sadly, we will not be able to give them access also because there are other websites in that account. So that's the reason we always suggest that you have a separate account for every website, for every client. It's easier to manage their accounts and for them also to get access to their account and data. Yeah, is that okay with everybody? Cool.
So here, if you see the account structure, the best way of going about it is like, let's say you have a personal account and you have a official account. So always ensure that anything that you want your personal account to be different and use a different email address, and accordingly you can create for different website of yours, create a specific profile. So what exactly is a profile or a what is a web property? Or what exactly, can any of you tell me what exactly is the account ID here in this case? The UA ID. Okay. So in this case, UA 18988-1 is the account ID. Sorry? The property. Yes. So the account ID is this. The entire thing would be a property ID, and the number that comes at the end would be the profile ID 1, 2 and 3. So you have different profiles, so you give an ID. Okay, so here you see 1, 2 and 3. What are these? I see -1, 2, it's all -1. What exactly are those?
These are the different profiles.
Okay, different profiles. So if I'm tracking a different profile, I'm going to give it a different ID. The system is going to populate a different ID. But why is this giving me just -1 for all the 3 profiles? Let's assume you call them profiles.
To track different ways.
Yeah. So what exactly are those profiles? I'm just looking for the exact term that you'd probably use. Why would you use how would you track?
Because it belongs, every ID belongs to different websites.
Yeah.
Suppose in one analytics account, there are